Okay, can you hear me? Okay. Thank you, Helen, for hosting our forum tonight. And thank you, Mr. Harmon, for serving as our moderator. And thank you for being here. It's a nasty night. And you're here because you love Oak Island, and I do too. For me, it's like living in a little corner of paradise. My name is Betty Thorne. I live at 2501 East Beach Drive in a home I bought in 1996. I made it my permanent home about 6 years ago, but before that, I spent as much time as possible here in the off-season. I came here from Cary. I have a son, Alex, who's 28. He's a CPA who lives outside of Washington, D.C. And I have a sister, Kathy Glover, who lives right here in Oak Island. She's here tonight. I'm a graduate of Meredith College, and I'm a court reporter. I own a court reporting agency. I have been a business owner for over 30 years and am well grounded in issues of budgeting, money management, planning, all things that small business ownership entails. Before starting the business, though, I served on the town council of Oxford, North Carolina, which is a small town about the size of Oak Island. So I would say that the combination of over 30 years of business management experience, as well as having served on the town council in another town, gives me a unique perspective that some of the other candidates perhaps don't have. Having seen how this process works in another town enables me to recognize what's working well for us and what may not be working so well. In other words, I see how things could be done better. Actually, I've also had the opportunity to see 4 of our Oak Island mayors here in action. I was here for the last year or so of Joan Altman's term, and then I went to council meetings regularly while Horace Collier was mayor, and that was 2 years. 2 years under Helen Cashwell, and then 4 years now under Johnny Vereen. So I am well grounded in all issues Oak Island and what their concerns are. And there are 3 of those concerns that I want to touch on tonight. Number 1 is the need to keep life affordable for us all. We enjoy a wonderful small town family beach way of life here, and I credit those who have come before for that. But it's a life that needs to be protected. One of the ways we can do that is by controlling spending and paying down debt. So to that end, I will vigorously oppose any new spending initiatives and instead focus on paying down debt and improving our overall financial picture. The second issue is the need for long-range planning. The area that we have just annexed on the other side of the waterway is largely undeveloped, and so we have an opportunity now to get it right the first time. So let's stop annexing more land and instead focus on making the new area that we have more compatible, let it develop compatible with our current small town family beach. Part of that planning, as I mentioned last week, must include going to the legislature to ask that island height restrictions be protected. Now, council touched on that briefly somewhat last night, and as your elected representative, I will make it a priority to see that this issue gets put before the legislature in the very next session. Finally, as elected officials, we need to hear your voice. We need to listen to you. And that's one of the reasons I'm running. I frankly don't think that your voice has been heard much lately. I feel that the ability to listen is one of my strongest personal attributes. True representatives of the people hear what the people are saying and do the will of the people. True representatives of the people will speak the truth, will conduct themselves with honor and integrity and dignity, and will keep their promises. As your elected representative, that is what I will do. Thank you very much.
Good evening. My name is Darrell Royal. As most of you know and see me on TV and in council meetings, I have served you on town council since 2003. I want to thank Helen Caswell and all those who were involved in putting this together, and make sure that I mentioned that the vote last night to not change the policy so that these meetings could continue to be taped and televised on Channel 8, I voted against that. I voted for an amendment so that we could continue like we have been doing. And Bob Seidel voted with me on that. Thank you, Bob. But as has been the case many times over the last 6 years, I've been on the losing end of votes, and that was the case last night, and I apologize for that. I was born and raised in Fayetteville. I live at 216 Northeast 47th Street. My parents bought the lot where I live in the house now in 1958. I was 2 years old, so I've grown up with this place. Moved here full-time in 1992, and so I, too, like many others up here, have the knowledge and background of where we've been and where we've come from and what got us here today. I know that people are concerned about the financial situation, and I did vote to go ahead with the town hall. I know that was an unpopular move, but I felt that it completed projects that we had been working on and was within the payments of debt that will drop off and still be able to pay down our debt. The impact on the debt service next year is a little less than a penny. If you got a house worth $300,000, that's $2.50 a month. But that will come down in the very next year and be eliminated the year after that. I know that people are concerned about maintaining our small town atmosphere and about seeing that there are no high-rises on the island. I put the item on the agenda last night to go to the legislature and amend our voter referendum local legislation so that it takes a majority of mainland voters and island voters in order to make any changes. And I also provided the leadership to consolidate the voter referendums that we have and to be able to have a voter referendum in 2006 on the crossover issue. So I have a record that you can depend on that I will protect that voter referendum on Pikes in the future. Annexation has been an issue on two different sides. I've always voted against the involuntary annexation proposal out on Long Beach Road. I have voted in favor thus far for annexations that have come to us voluntarily in the new Second Bridge Corridor. I believe that we have the planning in place, the development standards in place to develop that in a manner that will be consistent with our small town beach atmosphere, but will be high quality development and good commercial development in pods that we need, not strip development like we have now. There is something in that plan about a civic complex, and I want to state up front that I'm opposed to that. We have a civic complex on the island, and that will draw those people to help our small commercial business districts in the island. Sewer is close to being completed, and I know that that's going to be a financial burden for a lot of people. I have pledged previously and will continue to work to put in place some kind of program like Brunswick Electric has to help people with the utility payments for our sewer payments. The one thing that I have a reputation for is doing my homework and keeping my promises. And I will continue to do that if you choose to re-elect me to work for you for another 4 years. Thank you.